Welcome to White Rice, Brown Rice. Let's dig into the flavorful mix of interracial relationships. From cultural quirks to family dynamics, we're serving up fresh perspectives on love, laughter, and all things Asian Caucasian. So grab your chopsticks and forks because it's time to mix it up.
So I've been sick for weeks, right?
Yeah, you've had a cough for a very long time.
Yeah, I can't shake it. And at the beginning, when I first, like that first week, that was like the worst. King was traveling. We needed my in-laws to come and help out with the kids.
Great.
And normally when I'm sick, I don't say anything to her. I hide it because it turns into the whole thing. You had an Asian mother, right? It's this whole
She got to come over and take care of you.
you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I couldn't hide it. And I actually needed some help because I'm single parenting, sick as a dog. So for once, I asked for help. So it turned into this whole thing. And it started this conversation about how being with someone who's a different race, you start to adopt some of the cultural things.
Right.
And being sick, and that is one of them. So growing up, my mom always took care of us when we were sick. Oh, like make you some soup, or here's like a hot water bottle, heating pad, Tylenol, and then you get left on the couch or something. That is not the case. It's a very active thing for Asians to take care of someone when they're sick. It's like a 24/7 ER doc
Job.
type of job. So I had made myself some onion tea. She's like, nope, not right. It isn't the right onions. So she threw out my onion tea, maybe different onion tea with a different onion. Kind of tasted the same, but whatever. Then she wanted to like scrape me. So Asian scraping,
Yeah.
yeah, with Vicks. But I didn't have the right Vicks. Again, I never do anything right because it's the white thing. It's not the Asian thing, right? So she just takes, it was so funny. I'm sitting in the kitchen and she's like, I'm going to scrape you. And I'm like, no, you don't really have to do that, mom. Like, because I'm like just sitting here in the kitchen. I'm okay. No, 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 no. So she goes over to her purse and randomly just pulls out
Her scraper.
because she carries that around
Yep.
with her.
You never know when you're going to need it.
I guess. And this is proof to the point. So she lifts up my shirt and starts scraping away, right? All while she has like this towel over my head and she's Vicks steaming me. And it's this whole thing. And, my kids come in, they're like, what's happening? What are you doing? Because they're so confused.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, let me do your chest. And I'm like, no. She's like, I gotta get your lungs. You're coughing. She literally fucking whips my shirt. I'm literally in the kitchen. My father-in-law is in the other room. She just whips up my shirt, fucking titties out, starts scraping my chest. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? And you can't say no.
No.
You just have to
Sit back and
like,
let her
I
do
did
it.
not give you consent. You just have to let her do it. And it actually, for me, felt good, right? But then the next day, it was part two. She came over in the morning with more tea and she's like, okay, time to scrape you again. I was like, I'm bruised from yesterday. Like, I don't need to be scraped again. Nope. Redid the whole thing. So there are a lot of things that I appreciate. Early on in my relationship with King, I was having some health issues, and King would say something to his mom, and she'd go to the Asian pharmacy and come back. And there are these pills that I used to take, and they smell like ass. You can't keep them in the cupboard because the smell will come out of the cupboard. You'll walk by and you'll be like, what the fuck is that smell? It's these pills. So we used to wrap them in plastic and put them in a container and put them in a cupboard so that we didn't smell them all the time.
Right.
But they worked like magic. They really were magic. And then when we were trying to get pregnant. Leading up to that, we had just gotten married. I just finished grad school. Like everything was it was a lot, right? So I was super stressed and my cycles weren't regular. So I said something to my mother-in-law. Next thing you know, she's
Who's that?
coming. And they were these red, we called them goat blood pills or something like that. And I took one because you're supposed to take it at a certain point of your cycle. And I literally got pregnant that day randomly. And so I don't think it was the pills, but we always joke like the pills are so strong. Like I literally got pregnant the same day I started
Wasn't
taking.
there like a little trinket too that you had?
No,
The
but
elephant with the baby in its belly?
no,
Oh, I thought that was from you
no.
because you gave it to me. You
Was
said,
it a pill thing?
no, it was a little wooden trinket thing. And you said, get this out of my house because apparently it's supposed to bring the baby gods in. And you gave it to
Did I
me.
just not remember this?
And then I got pregnant with fucking Margaret. And I'm like, get this
Doesn't
thing
mean
out of
I
my
know
house.
you. I didn't know you then. It
Somebody gave
wasn't
it to
me.
me then.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, but
elephant with the
okay.
baby in
So
it.
yeah, Asian voodoo is real and it works, right?
does. It does.
Absolutely works. But never would I have ever considered, oh, go to an Asian pharmacy and let them know what's happening and they give you herbs. And since that time, like I've actually become quite interested. It's kind of a hobby of like how I can use herbs
Yeah, for
and
healing.
teas and tinctures and stuff for healing, separate of like Eastern medicine, but still.
Right.
So, you know, I've tried acupuncture, it works great. I told you, went to the Thai woman across the street and got a massage and got cupped and scraped. And when I tell you my entire back was black, it looked like someone abused me.
Right. But it's just your toxins being released.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or
No.
you scraped so
No,
hard,
it's your
I literally got
toxins being
bruised.
released.
Yeah.
You don't bruise if you don't have toxins. It won't. It'll like be a slight red from the
Mhm.
scraping, but if there's toxins, it gets dark.
Yeah. Well, I also think part of that is bruising. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
maybe for white people.
Well, you said like you had
The experience of
the
being scraped.
yeah,
Yes,
that was
'cause
traumatic.
it was very traumatic. I was 10 or 11, and my mom, my sister, and my brother held me down topless, laying flat on my stomach while my mom scraped my back. And I was crying and like fighting, and that's why they had to hold me down. And my mom would say, stop fighting me. You need this. This is good for you. Don't be such a baby. You'll be
Mhm.
okay. And I remember it was the worst pain I've ever endured, I feel like.
So you could have gotten bruised from the pain.
Maybe
It's not
because I
just
was
the
struggling.
toxins. But this is the other thing about Asians, I will tell you. Y'all think your stuff is like right, and I'm not saying it's not, but you never considered another
No.
idea. I could have actually gotten bruised because the frickin' massage lady was on top of me, scraping away at, like, I felt like it was digging my skin off. So a bruise is very possible. It's not just toxins. But y'all just want to be like, nope, that's just the toxins. It's working.
Yeah.
See?
I don't have a
Yeah.
rebuttal.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why sometimes I'm so hesitant to accept King's Asian offer, oh, you're not here, take that. No, you could be wrong. And like and it's an Asian thing.
Hmm.
You don't believe anything else except what you were taught.
If we did something that worked,
It's
we're going to continue
Bible for the rest of your
Bible
life.
for the rest. Yes. Yeah.
And that is not always the case.
Hmm.
We talked about flexible thinking.
I thought it was
You thought
I
you were
was being
flexible.
flexible.
Nope, you are rigid.
It was an eye opener.
Yeah. I love how this podcast, though, not to get off of the Asian white thing, I love how this podcast is just so good for your own personal development. I
Right.
swear, anytime we turn off the mics, you're like, I learned something new today about myself.
I realize it's not flexibility, it's priorities.
So you thought you were being flexible, but it's really because you just didn't give a fuck about the thing you were being
Right.
flexible about.
Right.
But if it was a priority, you're like, nope, not doing that. So you're rigid.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have to assess.
But like this podcast is so good for you.
I know I love it.
I've learned nothing about myself. You have not helped me in any way. No, I'm joking. So I think there's parts of like Asian culture that I have adopted, like wellness,
Yeah.
right? Eastern medicine and the appreciation for it. The other
Yeah.
thing I think is like food. I've definitely, I mean, I kind of been forced
Yeah.
because
You
I
had
don't
no
have,
choice.
I have no choice. I have to eat the Asian food
Yes.
probably more often than I would like to
But you don't
sometimes.
crave it like King and
No,
I would crave Asian. Not even just crave. Like we need.
it's the
I need
weirdest
Chinese food. I
thing.
need white rice. I need either a stir fry or I need some sort of chicken that's made in an Asian way.
It is the weirdest thing. Like, it's not a craving. You need it.
Yeah.
If we go on vacation, or even when we were overseas, like at least twice a week, King had to find an Asian restaurant to eat at.
Yeah.
Or he had to go to the grocery store and get like ramen because he needed Asian food.
Yeah.
And never have I ever had a white food that I needed. Like, I'll crave a burger every now and again, right?
Yeah.
I like to have a pizza here and there, but like, I don't need it. Where there's something about Asians where y'all need
Yeah.
Asian food.
I don't
And I
feel
just,
full unless I've eaten Asian food as well.
which is weird because I feel full, but it's an empty full. Like I eat Asian food and I could be stuffed and I'm hungry an hour later.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
just eat more.
Yeah, no, that's not. No.
I feel that too,
Oh,
but then I
it's
just go
like
eat more.
empty.
Oh,
Whereas if I'm full off of Western food,
yeah.
I'm full for the day. Like I wouldn't even have to eat again.
Western food doesn't fill my soul.
That's what it is. Like I don't know what
I
it
don't
is with
know. Yeah,
Asians and
I
like
need.
food and
I think because
soulness.
it's like so entwined in our being. The food is just like a part of us. So if we don't
Mhm.
have it, it's kind of like I'm missing a part of my soul if I don't eat Asian food.
Okay.
It's true.
I
I
also
think.
like when, and maybe I've told this story before, whenever we go on vacation and there's a Chinatown, it's like we don't eat anywhere else. You have this whole city of new foods, new restaurants at your disposal. So we went to Philadelphia a long time ago, but we ate in breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole week until I begged King. I said, I've never been to Philadelphia before, and all I want is a Philly cheesesteak. And it was the last day. He's like, Mom, we can't go to Chinatown this time. I'm taking Amanda to get Philly cheesesteaks. That was the only other food I ate.
Did they eat one too?
No, they went to Chinatown. We dropped them off and then drove over to Geno's or whatever the hell it's called to get a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about cheesesteaks.
Priorities.
Priorities, I guess. But like, expand your palate. Eat a cheesesteak.
No, but I know I like Asian food, so I'll just eat that.
Say rigid. But what are some white things that you've adopted into just by being with
I've
Rich?
adopted Christmas and decorating,
Okay.
having a tree,
Okay.
doing an excessive amount of Christmas presents in my mind, but in Rich's mind, it's not excessive. Like
No.
almost every year when we're doing presents, he's like, "Oh, this is all they got? This is a shit ton, dude. Like that's
Have you seen pictures though of white people around the
my
Christmas tree in
neighbors.
the 80s?
It's
It took up the
insanity.
entire, I remember growing up and the presents took up the entire living room.
My next door neighbor, I love her.
Mm.
She grew up next door. She was in seventh grade when she moved next door. And their family is whitest family, but the most amazing family. But I spent one Christmas morning at their house.
Mm.
She got like 35 presents. And they woke up at 5 a.m. to
Yeah.
open presents.
Yeah.
And all I could think in my head was, what the fuck? it was so mind-blowing to me. It was just insanity. I couldn't
That's normal.
and yeah, and that's normal for Asians. Like my mom did Christmas presents. She didn't wrap them because wrapping paper is a waste of money. Like you're gonna
Okay.
wrap it and make it look nice and then tear it apart. Just give it to me. Don't wrap
Yeah.
it. And never do a card with it either.
Okay.
But we get a present and I open my present and I got socks,
I was gonna say
towels,
you got essentials,
I got
right?
essentials,
Yeah.
shampoo if I needed shampoo,
Mm,
and maybe like a $20 bill.
okay.
That was my Christmas present. And I appreciated it because I'm like, I do need new socks. And
Yeah, that's
and I
fair.
want a new towel.
Hmm.
So, but just essentials. There's never,
Yeah, we would get essentials sometimes, but it would just be like, oh, socks. Oh, what's the next thing?
yeah, no.
Yeah,
It was,
but you have adopted that to some extent.
I
Okay.
do buy the kids stuff that's not essentials, but it's in my head as I'm doing Christmas presents. I'm like, no, no, they need this anyway. So okay, they're gonna get this. They're gonna,
Oh yeah,
things they need.
I still get the kids socks. I mean, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
essentials are a must. So Christmas, I decorate one room. That is it. It does not bleed through my house because
Okay.
that's just way too much.
Uh,
Birthdays are, I try to make it a little more special for my kids because my mom does not, birthdays are not an Asian or maybe just not a Cambodian thing, but maybe because during the time as well. So that plays a factor. But I think in general, it's not a thing.
no.
Like you don't really celebrate birthdays.
Yeah.
To this
Like the
day,
100-day thing, right? Like for babies.
for babies,
That's
yes,
the
that's
thing,
different.
but not
But
like
that's, yeah,
adults.
no.
Like your mom isn't calling you and wishing you a happy
No,
birthday.
she's never called me and wished me a happy birthday in my life.
Yeah.
She did call Rich twice
Oh,
on his fucking birthday.
she loves him more than you.
How does she know his birthday? She doesn't even know mine. Like I'll call her on my birthday and say, "Hi, mom, it's my birthday today." She goes, "Oh, again already? I don't know. How old are you?" I'm like, I'm not sure how old I am either,
Right.
mom.
Yeah.
We don't know these details. So
Okay.
birthdays, yeah. I don't know. What else?
Definitely not food.
No. I try to make a sandwich and I can't.
Uh,
I just end up ordering
white
from
people love
Fairfax.
sandwiches.
I know. I order a sub from Fairfax. If I have a sandwich craving, I can't even pretend to make my own sandwich. Because my mom, the way she would make it for school was white Wonder Bread.
Hmm.
You toast it.
Oh
She
yeah.
put butter on it.
Okay.
Then she'd put mayonnaise, a piece of salami or bologna. I think bologna.
Okay.
I think a piece of lettuce and tomato
Okay.
toasted and close it up.
That's a pretty legit sandwich.
Is that?
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't like
the
bologna.
tomato would be all soggy on the bread. I remember
Oh,
when I'd eat it at school thinking I'm cool. I get a sandwich today.
right.
And it was really bad. Like,
That's true if it sits too long.
so gross.
Yeah.
But now I can't make a
Okay.
sandwich. I don't even attempt anymore.
Okay. I love sandwiches.
Definitely not.
So there is one night a week where King's mom will bring over food, like real Asian food, the brown eggs and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. And she also brings a bag of sandwiches from the deli. So like
Yeah.
this for me and
The girl.
one of the girls. No, one loves the Asian food and one loves sandwiches. So I will have our sandwiches and they have their real Asian food.
Yeah.
It's super Asian. So it's funny. We do a little bit of mix.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You mix it up.
Mix it up.
That's
A
the
little
whole point.
Asian Caucasian. So everybody's happy. But maybe because you were raised with white friends, there's like white cultural aspects that you assimilated to a long time ago,
Yeah.
right?
I think one of the things extracurricular things like paid for activities,
Okay.
that's definitely something that is definitely white for
Mhm.
me anyways. My family would never pay for sports or hobby.
You could just kick a ball in the yard
Yeah,
for
go
free.
outside. Go ask the neighbor if you could borrow their soccer ball. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even gonna buy a soccer ball
Yeah.
because you don't that's not a job. Like, why
Right.
would you buy something?
No fun.
No fun.
No fun.
There's stones outside. Kick that around. Yeah. Did not grow up having Like I wanted a trampoline. I remember this. I wanted a
Uh,
trampoline when I was growing up.
mm,
And my mom, she looked like, "Are you crazy? Like what?"
right.
We were getting new beds. She took out the old mattress outside, put it on top of the picnic table that we had, and said, "There's your trampoline."
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not. I jumped on that shit like for days. That was my trampoline.
Could you imagine seeing that in your neighbor's yard today? You'd be like, what the fuck?
I know. That's what we used. And it's on top of a picnic table. So if I fell off that fucking thing,
Well, same thing with a trampoline. Nowadays, trampolines have the netting. Back in the day, we had a trampoline, and my neighbor fell off and broke her arm because there was no netting. That's why they started using the netting because so many people were like getting broken
dangerous.
bones. Super dangerous, especially when you have 20 kids
See,
pushing each other around on
she
it.
was saving me.
She was.
She was smarter than I was.
Yeah. I mean, if she really wanted to save you, she would have just put it on the ground.
And she put it on top of a picnic table,
It's high.
on top of a cement slab too. So, she wasn't saving me. She was like, "Here's your trampoline, girl.
Yeah.
This is what you get.
I love that.
Asian trampoline, old mattress on top of a picnic table." It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I,
You got what you
I
wanted.
didn't regret not getting a trampoline. She did her best.
That is amazing.
But yeah, I think now I do more like extracurricular things with my kids. I try to
Yeah.
sign them up for activities,
Hmm.
crafting, a
Yeah.
sporting thing, exercise.
Okay.
That's definitely a white thing. That's not anything that we ever did
Yeah.
growing up.
Well, I think there are certain things that Asians do push, like
Music.
music,
Yes.
right? You would pay for
Yeah.
piano lessons.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yes. We couldn't afford it though. So that's
Okay.
why we never had it.
Okay.
We didn't have those extras. But if we could afford it, I think my mom would have definitely put us into musical
Music.
instruments.
Yeah. So did you ever play anything growing up?
The what's that called? The recorder in grade
Oh.
school.
Oh, okay. That doesn't
Mary
count.
had a little lamb,
Oh.
little lamb. I remember the finger thing.
Yeah, I
That's
think
about it.
everybody does.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why that's a thing. That and square dancing.
It's just to get you started.
Did you ever have to do square dancing in school?
No.
I don't know. It must be a US thing. But you talk to anybody our age, hey, did you ever learn square dancing? And they'd be like, heck yeah, gym class. We had to learn for our sixth grade camp. So in sixth grade, all the sixth graders would go away to camp and we had to learn it and then do it at camp. And it was at the beginning of our sixth grade year. Part of the reason for camp was you got to meet from kids from the other elementary schools that were like new to you. So you're dancing with some randos that you don't even know. Square dancing.
It's a
Do-si
very
doing.
white person thing.
Yes. You did not assimilate to that.
No,
Yeah. I feel like you like to square dance now.
I do.
I mean, maybe not square dancing per se, but Cotton Eye Joe comes on and you're on it. So line dancing.
Yep. Karaoke.
Okay.
Did you ever?
I mean, yeah, I had fun with karaoke, but I have to be honest. I got away from karaoke for a while because I literally once got booed and I'm sure it was just like a mean
In a
drunk guy
bar?
in a bar. And not only that, but I had another experience where the DJ like morphed I have the world's worst singing voice. You know how you can like make it sound like Mickey Mouse, make it really up here,
Uh-huh.
really down here, right? And so I took that as, wow, I'm so bad. They're like changing my voice. But
Mm.
I did love karaoke. I remember I had a few choice songs back in the day.
I love karaoke.
Yeah.
And nobody cares if your voice is good or bad.
Well, maybe there was
But
just
we're-
some assholes at the bar, but
Yeah.
also I knew I was a bad singer because growing up I really wanted to be a good singer. I was like in choir and stuff, and I always tried out for the solos and never got it because no one ever told me I was bad. And then even in high school, I was in the musicals and I would try out for even the chorus, but I'd only get the dancing parts. Like I was that bad, I couldn't even be in the chorus.
So you didn't have an adult to tell you
No.
reality. That's
No.
the problem.
Yeah. So it was, I think, like an insecurity. So anytime something happened, like later, when you have an insecurity, if
Mhm.
someone boos you and hits that insecurity button, you're like, I'm never gonna sing karaoke again. But I do now. You like we sing karaoke all the time. Like we
Yeah,
love it.
I know.
But I also, for number one, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I've passed that point in life, right? And number two, we're singing it together and we both really suck.
Yeah, I
So
I
it's
suck
like the suckier the better.
really bad.
Yeah, the suckier the better.
But I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't
That was our
care.
quest for 2025.
Yes.
So I sent you that video where people didn't do resolutions, they did quests.
Yeah.
And the example was the guy was on a pasta quest. So he ate all sorts of pasta. He learned how to cook his own pasta.
Yeah.
It was like, let's do that. So we decided karaoke.
We
So
need to
we're
find
the best
the best
karaoke bars. Yes. So that is, I think, like a cross-cultural activity because don't Japanese people like love it?
I went to when I was in Cambodia
Mm.
in uni. I went to a karaoke bar that was a brothel as well.
Ooh.
So you walk in and they have all the ladies, they all had numbers and they were sitting kind of like up on a stage, not sitting, standing up on a stage. And you walk by the ladies, and if you wanted a companion while you sang karaoke, you could pick one of the girls. But I was with my cousin and her husband and like other cousins, right? So there's six
Okay.
of us. So we didn't
So you
choose.
could sing while getting a handy.
You didn't choose a
something.
companion. We didn't choose a companion.
Okay.
And you go into the karaoke room, the private
It's
room.
private though. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we sang karaoke in there. But the walls were all naked pictures of women. I was like, it didn't even occur to me that I was at a brothel because I was so
Right. You just
oblivious.
right.
I was just like, we're gonna sing karaoke. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, can I just tell you the first thing that I thought of though? Like, what if your mouth accidentally hit the microphone? Just think about all the things that are on those microphones. Ew.
But it was so much fun.
I'm
That's what I wanna
sure.
do
Yeah.
again.
Well, there's it. There, you sent me like a video of a place. Where
Yeah.
is that? Seattle?
Seattle.
Yeah. So we can do that on our quest.
We'll fly
Or
up
we can go to
Seattle.
the Cambodian brothel. Like, I'm down to check it out. I'm not gonna get a lady,
You're not gonna
but
get a companion.
and I'm gonna keep the microphone very far from my mouth. But that's amazing. You can get a handy while like singing
Yeah.
karaoke. So can I tell you one of my karaoke songs? You know that song? If it's oh fuck, I don't remember who sang it, but it was "Touch Myself When I
Oh,
Think
yeah.
About You." I had a whole dance to it. It was hilarious. I was like an attention whore back at one point in my life. But I loved singing that song.
Yes.
It was like
That's a
my
good
song.
karaoke song.
Yes. And that would fit so perfectly in the brothels of Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant to be. If I could see all the naked ladies on the
Yeah,
wall.
naked ladies on the walls.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for those ladies. I mean, they're making their, I don't know. Is it legal?
Well, I think back then I feel bad. I think, maybe I feel like nowadays people who do it is like
Not
more of a choice.
trafficking?
It's not as trafficky, maybe,
Okay.
depending on age.
Yeah. I just,
don't
you
know.
can't trust that stuff. So,
No.
but we're on our karaoke quest. So karaoke cross-cultural, you've brought it back out in me. So that's
We gotta
good.
Sing it.
Oh, yeah.
I need to save up for a good karaoke machine. That's my 2025 goal.
So any other white cultural stuff you've taken on as your own?
I think just family wise, the family unit,
Okay.
I've taken it on more. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We always
Mm.
had that, but like my dad would work and then my mom would take care of the kids.
Okay.
And I feel like Rich and I we work together. When I make dinner, he tidies up after dinner. The kids all bring responsibility.
Yeah.
More of like a partnership than the way my parents had it.
Okay. Or I think like a stereotypical Asian woman is the one
Mhm.
that's cooking, cleaning, doing
Everything.
taking care of the kids, like everything.
And the husband's only responsibility is to go to work.
Go to work and then to be tended to.
Yeah.
He's like another child.
Yes.
That ain't flying in my house.
Yeah.
We white in that aspect.
Yeah. Well, that's the part that I think I've adopted more. So like my mom will
Mm.
ask me to get my husband a plate of food and I'm like, I'll do it. But
Sure. Yeah.
there's times when I'm like, Mom, he has legs. It's okay.
Yeah.
He can get his own food. But she's like, you're the wife.
Mm-hmm.
She reminds me. You're the wife. Get your husband a plate of food.
Hmm. Yeah, I see that some of that in King's family where they're still very a bit traditional in that
Yeah.
regard. And I'm just like, not it. And so, like at family things, sometimes I do feel like a little out of place. Like I'm the white girl that's just sitting there letting her husband get the plate.
Right.
I'm aware of it, right?
But he likes to get the plate for you
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it works
because
with
he
our
knows what
family.
he.
And I don't think anybody else, maybe nobody else notices. Maybe I just noticed because it is like such a cultural difference.
No, because you're white though, and you're in the Asian. That's the expectation is for him as an Asian person. I would expect King to get you your plate because you don't know the food and which one's good and which one like how much you should eat of
Even
one
10
thing.
years in, I'll never know.
No.
See? Asians, you as soon as you get something in your head, it's like that is Bible.
You
Like
wouldn't know.
I've learned how much noodles to put on my plate. Thank you.
Really.
Golly. Yeah.
So
See?
I don't think it's like coming
Okay.
from an Asian perspective. I don't think that's awkward. I think it's like, oh, that's what
Okay.
he's supposed to do.
Okay.
See it in a different way, like, oh, I should be getting up and doing it. But no, no, no.
Mm.
Because you're white, we don't expect you to do it.
Oh, good. Well, cool. Look at me doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
But yeah. All right. Anything else? I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I
Trying
don't
to think
think
if there's
so.
anything else Asian that like your inability to be flexible with your thinking. Like if there's something that King or his parents have an idea about, it's like I gotta roll with it.
Right.
There's no bucking that system.
No,
So
usually not.
yeah. So
Usually
I've
not.
accepted that in some regards.
Yeah. And I didn't see it as the flexibility. I always thought I'm very flexible.
Again,
Maybe.
when we're like talking about characteristics as I would describe you, flexible would never come out of my mouth.
Really?
I don't, yeah. I mean, I think that there's, no, actually, as I'm thinking about it, not at all. I want to say laid back, but I'm like, nope, that's not you either. You're hot. Like you're spicy,
I
hot-headed.
just know what I want.
That's
Okay.
rigid. I mean, that's great that you know what you want, but are you willing to not get what you want?
Hmm.
Give me an example.
Sometimes when I go to the bar and they don't have a high noon, I'll order like a vodka soda with a splash of cranberry as a substitute.
Okay, that is not
See?
what I mean. That is the worst example ever.
But I want a high noon and they don't have it.
Okay.
Rigid would be I have to leave the bar,
Oh my
but I
gosh.
get a vodka soda instead. I'm being very
You are
flexible.
okay. I take everything back. That example changes everything I see about you. You are the most flexible person I've ever met. It's a terrible
Terrible
example.
example.
Oh, but you can think on it,
I'll have to think on it.
but you're not going to come up with something
I might.
unless you want to prove your point.
No, I like thinking about it to see because in my mind I feel like I am flexible.
And this is where we go back to the priorities episode. I'll link that in the show notes. Thinking about personal development and
Right.
reflection.
Yeah. I always reflect. I feel like I'm constantly reflecting, going,
Yeah.
oh, I thought this. Oh, that's not
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
I need to change that.
Is
But
there any parts of white culture that you want more of in your life and you just can't do it?
no,
Like craving cheeseburgers over egg rolls?
no, I would never. That would never
Oh, that's
happen.
sad for you.
I don't think so.
No,
No, I like the balance. I like the mix that we have.
I do
It
too.
kind of
I
works
think
out nice.
it does, right? Where it like pushes some things in certain
Mhm.
directions, but we still have a little bit of our own.
Yeah, it's a good balance with
Yeah.
Rich's culture and my culture because I think too much of one side would make it
Bland.
ugh.
Yeah, it would be bland. Like if it was only Asia. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I do like the mix because I feel like it creates diversity in our house, right? And I think that is great.
Diversity amongst the family too.
Yeah.
Like with my parents and my
Mhm.
siblings, like adding that and going, oh, that's how you do it. Having them go, oh, that's how Rich's family does that. That's,
Yeah.
they either agree or disagree, but at least they
Fair.
know it's
But it's the learning that I think
Right.
sometimes you don't get the opportunity to do, right?
Right.
If you're in the same cultural relationship or you just don't have the interactions. I think
Right.
we're lucky that we even have the interactions to be able to be like, oh, we're
Yes.
not in white bread America or in an Asian country where it's just Asians and you don't know
Yeah.
anything else. So I love that. And I love that for our kids because I just think our kids are like already so worldly, being able to see different parts and seeing that people can be different and be together
Exactly.
and be symbiotic, which is, I think, really, really hard for some people, especially in this climate. But like, I love it.
Yeah. It's like you can have different expectations or different ideas of the way something
Mhm.
should be,
Mhm.
but you can still get along and love each other and respect each other.
Yeah. This happens with me, and as I think about King sometimes. Do you ever look at Rich and be like, wait, he's white? Like where you just don't see it anymore, because it's
Yeah.
just Rich. Does that ever like trip you out?
I used to think I was white, so I don't, so
No, it's just like, because you're just with your person and there's times
Yeah.
when
it's
it's
just a
just like
person.
it right.
Yeah.
And but like then something will happen that brings out the Asianness and you're kind of like, you Asian? I didn't fuck. I forgot.
Yeah.
I think about that with you too. Like I don't think about your Asianness. It's just like sometimes it's called the light and then it's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I have to remind myself I'm Asian sometimes.
Okay. Does that
Some-
trip you out? Like it
That
trips me
trips
out?
me out.
Okay, see?
Like,
So that's that maybe
where
the
I'm like,
experience I
oh,
feel
wait,
with
I'm-
King. Like,
I'm
oh
Asian.
shit. He's Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah, this matters.
Right.
Yes. Where you're just living life.
I don't do
but-
that with Rich though. I don't know.
Mm. Okay.
I don't know.
I definitely do that with King.
I do it with myself
Right. Maybe it's the white to
because
Asian.
I think I'm very entrenched in white culture.
Yeah. Well, you grew up in it and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I didn't grow up with Asians.
Mm.
I had the one Asian friend that moved away in 7th grade.
Yeah.
That was the only Asian friend I had until I went to university.
Okay. Yeah, you're not white.
I know. I see myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I have slanty eyes. I'm totally not white. But I do forget that.
Yeah.
I used to forget it a lot in high school
Oh.
until someone reminded me,
Well,
or people would be like, hey,
probably
hey chink,
right, not in a
whatever.
nice way.
I
Yeah.
was never bullied,
Okay.
but there was always reminders like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Chinese. Cambo. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a fun conversation. We're gonna
Mhm.
mix it up.
we'll see you next week.
Hey, Inner Ice Pod. We had a blast mixing it up with you today. So use your chopstick or your fork and go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. Also, follow us on social media to stay up to date. We would love to hear from you. So send us an email sharing your interracial stories. See you next time.